September 23, 1972. President Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law in the Philippines.
I signed Proclamation number 1081, placing the entire Philippines under martial law.
We were fighting a war on two fronts. We had the secessionist movement in the south. We have the dissident NPAs, CPP NPA in the countryside. And there was something, and these were people who wanted to bring down the government, and the government had to defend itself.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. offered this explanation when asked about his father's decision to impose military rule 50 years ago to thwart insurgency and establish what the elder Marcos called a new society. But for martial law victim Bonnie Ilagan, the late dictator's plan was clear from the beginning.
So ginamit niya yung supposedly crisis to perpetuate himself in power.
If there's anything good that came out of martial law, historian Xiao Chua says, private armies were abolished.
Marcos just wanted the armed forces, his army, to be the army of the country. So maraming mga nakumpiskang mga baril from the warlords. That's one thing, And at first, parang it seems that it is good, the peace and order situation and all.
Others believe martial law was a golden age. As the nation witnessed the mushrooming of structures, there are now landmarks of that era. The Cultural Center of the Philippines, Manila Film Center, and Philippine International Convention Center, all housed in a reclaimed area called CCP Complex in Pasay City. The San Juanico Bridge, which connects the provinces of Samar and Leyte, and specialized hospitals such as Philippine Heart Center, National Kidney and Transplant Institute, and Lung Center of the Philippines in Quezon City, among others.
And that's why these people who believe that the Marcoses are very good is because they benefited from all these projects, the infrastructure, the hospitals, and all of that. Which, of course, we do not deny that there were benefits from these projects.
Chua says the economy was good at the beginning.
But the problem was, it became mismanaged eventually. Because the solution, Marcos' solution to problems is infrastructure. So you borrow money from IMF, and you put it into infrastructure, thinking that that will solve a lot of our economic problems because infrastructure is really needed by our country.
Based on data from $360 million in 1961, the country's external debt ballooned to more than $28 billion in 1986. Poverty worsened and prices of basic goods spiked.
While viewing the positive effects of having an authoritarian regime where there are no checks and balances, you also see that there were abuses that were committed. So there were good things, but there were also very bad things that happened, including human rights violations and unchecked graft and corruption.
According to human rights group Amnesty International, more than 70,000 people were imprisoned, tortured, and killed during martial law. But of the 75,000 who applied at the Human Rights Victims Claims Board for compensation, the government only recognized a little over 11,000 claims. For Ilagan, the painful experience still haunt him to this day.
I personally went through the nightmare that was martial law. Biktima ako ng torture. Ang kapatid kong babae ay dinukot at hindi pa namin nakikita hanggang ngayon. At marami akong mga kaibigan, mga kasamahan who experienced the same nightmare.
He says he can't blame the youth for saying that martial law was good.
Ang responsibility ay nasa government institutions at naandun sa kampo ng mga Marcos who really made it a scheme, a plan. Kasi that's the only way they could go back sa power, yung pagbaliktad nila ng kasaysayan.
And if the Marcoses are back in power, Ilagan vows to stay the course and preserve the narrative.
For so long as there are young citizens willing to know real history at hindi tatanggap dun sa mga kasinungalingan, then all hope is not lost.
A lot of us are already tired. But that doesn't mean that we should stop. So if there's little that we can do for the victims, that their sacrifices will not be forgotten, then we're going to do it.
For those who refuse to distort history, they have one call: never forget. Anjo Alimario, CNN Philippines.